Hi guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm going to be talking today about being a young entrepreneur and some things that you need to know, because although it is all about having an idea of something that people want, it's also really important that you know how to do that. You may be somebody who has an idea or would like to be a business owner one day. You don't know where to start or what to do. So I'm just going to give you a couple of tips today. I will be making some business videos in the future, but today I just wanted to give you some tips on what to do if you've got a really good idea, or if you've been thinking about business and you don't know where to start, but you'd really like to be a business owner. You think you've got the personality for it. You feel like you have the management skills and just the organizational skills as well as planning skills. Being a young person in business can often be a hinder, but I'm going to give you some tips so that people take you seriously and basically you can grow your business and become really successful. My first tip is to read, research, and repeat. This basically means if you have a passion in a certain field or you have an idea about something, it's really important that you research. This means finding out who your target is, finding out how you're going to market to those people, how they're going to hear about you or your brand or your product or your service, and how you are going to get the correct message across to them and make them buy your product or service. Or what I did for this is basically in my field, which my business is in, I read a lot of books and basically I read about a whole number of industries and different people who started a business and became successful. I have endless amounts of business books. I watch YouTube channels, I subscribe and do webinars, and I just generally read, research and repeat all the time. Even once I had my successful businesses, I still continue to read, research and repeat. Anywhere where there's a successful person speaking or writing, I'm generally levitate towards that area because I like to know how they did it and how they did it so well. My second point is take something from everyone. Now, what I mean by that is everybody you meet in your personal life and everybody you meet in your business life, you have the opportunity to learn something. What I mean by this is anything that you can learn from somebody, whether it be how they manage their time, how they manage their money, how they talk to people, how they respond to things, how they answer the phone, how they resolve conflict. For example, if somebody was to have a problem with your service and they say complaint to somebody who's working with you and you think, I wouldn't know what to do. You can listen to how that person responds, how that person listens, how that person calms the situation down, and basically how they resolve the issue so that both the company and the customer walk away happy. Now, they might also be terrible with conflict management. They might say things to flare the situation. They might make things so that the customer leaves unhappy and that the company is unhappy. They haven't got paid, they're not happy with the results. That will travel through word of mouth. So you can actually take something from a bad situation, you can take something from a good situation, and you can learn how to deal with the situation. So you might say when the person was resolving the conflict, they had a bad attitude because they believed that they were right and the person was wrong. Whereas if they're good at resolving conflict, you might think that they sympathized with the customer, made the customer feel heard, made the customer feel like they had come to the right place to talk about their concerns, and that there was going to be a resolve that made both the customer and the company happy. The company gets paid, the customer gets the result they wanted. So you can learn something both from negative and positive people. It's just about taking note and thinking to yourself, I could do that better, or I could learn by doing this better. Either way, the result is you get better at conflict management, from whether the person is good or whether the person is bad. It's all about taking what you see and what you hear from people, not only at work, but also in your personal life. It could be about how someone resolves a conflict within their personal life. It's all about learning from all of your situations. If you're going to start a business that involves having employees, or just generally in your business, you will need to use the tax office, the Australian tax office, or whatever country you're in, the tax office. So you will need to know what their guidelines and rules are. Their website is available. If you do have employees, you will need to know what fair work is, how to calculate their wages on their PACT calculator, and how to determine what level people are at. And basically, if you don't have this knowledge before you go in, you could make mistakes that will haunt you for years to come. You could underpay somebody, and when it's worked out that that person is underpaid, you would have to pay them back thousands and thousands of dollars. I think it was last year the tax office put on a big scope where they looked at lots of different businesses to see if people were being paid the right award rate. And basically what they found was that most businesses were not, and I think they discovered $500,000 worth of underpayments for all of those businesses to pay back. I think there was 180,000 businesses that they looked into, and $500,000 of underpayment. So could you imagine if that was your business? So it's really important that you understand what you're doing, and you get the advice that you need from somebody who's reputable and somebody who's going to tell you the truth, so that you have the safety and security of knowing that you're doing the right thing. Which brings me to my next point: do not do shortcuts. Shortcuts in life and in business never work. If you save yourself $1 or $2 today, then tomorrow you're going to have to pay $4 or $5 back. So for an example with that is if you don't pay super to your employees, not only do you have to pay their super back, but the fine for that is half of that super again. If you don't pay $1,000 in super, that person can make a complaint about you, and you'll have to pay them the $1,000 super and $500 to the tax department. So basically you are paying 150% of what you should have paid. So it's better to pay somebody, be honest, be upfront, and don't take shortcuts. This doesn't just come to money, it also comes to performance, and it also involves quality. So if your quality is subpar, or you take shortcuts, or your product isn't quite right but you put it out anyway, you're gonna have problems. People are gonna want refunds that you've spent paying people. You might have paid for the product, you might have paid people, you might have paid yourself and spent the money, and then all of a sudden everybody will want refunds, and basically that is going to be a problem because you're going to lose your customers, you're going to have to pay them back, and in the long run you're not really having a successful business. So it is so important not to make shortcuts. If you want your business to be settled, and it's just best not to cut any corners whatsoever. And if you need help, there's always people out there to help you. There's Facebook groups for businesses, there is YouTube videos on how to do things, the tax department has videos on their website, and pretty much everywhere is going to help you. If it's with super, call an accountant and get solid advice. Don't go to an accountant who does $50 tax returns here, there, and they don't return your calls. You really need to trust your accountant. You really need to have a good relationship with your accountant. And if your accountant doesn't have time for you, then you don't have time for your accountant. You need to find a good accountant. That is another one. Another thing is that you need to be very careful. You can't trust anybody in business. If we were to work together, let's just say you and I, if you weren't doing your job correctly or you weren't doing the right thing, I would 100% tell you. Even if you were my best friend, even if you were my parent or sibling or cousin, if we were working together and I didn't feel like it was working out, I would have to be honest with you, because business is business and personal is personal. You need to separate the two. Say your mum does your filing and organising of the office, but she didn't come in, and when she did, she was late and it wasn't organised properly and you could never find anything, and you were paying this money so that you could have all of these things organised and at your fingertips and ready to go, and it just wasn't done. Lots of people make the mistake of trying to keep people happy. If they're not doing what you're paying them to do, it's really not efficient for your business. So you need to be honest and say, this isn't working, what can we do to fix this, and actually go through and put steps in place. You don't have to be mean to the person, you don't have to be cruel, or you can't just fire them. So you might say, this is the times that you work, are you having trouble getting here at these times? Because it's filing, you might say, maybe at this time is a better time for you. As long as when I'm looking at the filing, it's done when I need it done, then your job is done. Put steps in place so that you can work together to fix the problem. But the most important thing is not to put your whole business in somebody else's hands. A business is like a baby. Nobody's going to love your baby as much as you do. So if you expect other people to run your business, or you don't take any responsibility in your business, or you never look at your books and you don't know what's happening in your business, although you need people to help you in your business, putting all your trust in expecting someone else to do the work, even if you pay them, and to treat it like their own business, then there's going to be a problem, because down the track they might say this and this didn't happen because we weren't bringing in enough money and you didn't know, so you were doing extra purchases, and the whole business collapses because nobody's communicated and everybody's just going their own way. So you need to make sure that you don't trust people, you actually know what is going on in your business. Another thing too is that you need to know what's happening in your business and make sure that you've got systems in every area. Some things may not even seem like they need a system, but trust me, every area of your business needs a system. So it might be, okay, you've got a bookkeeper, so your bookkeeper works on a certain day. At the end of that day, they send you reports. You have to sit down, read those reports, and make sure everything is in line with your goals, how the business is going, and you understand it all. If you don't understand it all, you need to go back to the person and say, I need an explanation on this, this, and this. You might have a process where people come to your business and they must give you their information. When they give you that information, you need to make sure that all the boxes are ticked, everybody's is the same, and you have a system. So that system might be, you take the information, you check the information, you scan the information, you change the name of the file, and you put it in this folder. That is a system. So if the system's not working and there's a whole bunch of scanned items with no names on them and you can't find the information of somebody, then you know that the system isn't working, and that's where you go in and you fix that system. And the good thing about systems is if you have systems in all of the different areas, you actually can find which particular system isn't working, and then you can fix that system. Another point that I wanted to discuss is customers. It is really important that you base a lot of your systems on what your customers say or how your customers perceive your business, product, or service. So an example of that would be if you hear a lot of people saying, oh, I really like your lipstick brand, I wish there was more colors that suited my tone, and you hear that from people of the same tone, maybe that will encourage you to expand on your colors, or to, if you can't expand on your colors, to change some of your colors so that it suits more people, and that way your business has expanded its clientele or its target market. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. Sometimes you're just going to have customers that aren't happy with how you do things. Everybody is different. It's like graphic design. You might think you've come up with a great design for somebody's business logo. You put a lot of time into it. You get really excited about it. You think it's like the greatest logo you've ever created, and you send it and they want it completely changed. They don't like any aspects of it, and what they want is something that you find very tacky, or something in the wrong, like in unusual colors that wouldn't naturally go together, like pinks and orange or something like that, and you're totally disheartened because you have put yourself into this logo, and not only are they not happy with it, they want you to design something that is not necessarily something that you would ever want to design, or to say, this is my work. You don't want to tell people, I designed this logo. Everybody has different tastes and ideas of what they want, so all I'm saying to you is that you can't always please everybody. So don't get disheartened if you have 1,000 happy customers and one customer that you just cannot please, and you just cannot do anything to please, because that's going to happen. Another important point is to have a work and a life balance. That might mean working 9 to 5 each day on your business, and making sure that evenings and weekends are for your family and your friends. The most important thing though is that you do have a balance. If you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when you're in your 20s like me, you're going to be 50 and realize that you didn't actually live. It is important that you still take holidays and try to be a normal person as well as a business owner. Let's be honest, your sick days don't happen. You're always on call. Especially when you've got employees and things. Some things don't work out. Some people can't come into work. There's always things going on, and it's always when you're feeling unwell, you've booked an appointment, or you just cannot work at that time, or you're just generally tired. That's when all the problems occur. I don't know why, but that's just generally how it works. So that is a negative for the business, that you don't necessarily have just a day where sick days, you turn off your phone and you sleep all day. That doesn't happen for business owners. But generally you can schedule your own time. You can work out when you want to work, which best fits your personality. You've got the freedom to make appointments during the day, even if it means you have to work back later at night than a normal person would. And you also get to set your wage as well, within means of what your business can do, but also you get to set your wage. So there is positives and there's negatives to owning a business. But my favorite part of business is basically the motivation and the skills that you get from researching, reading, watching videos, and basically learning how to run a business. I love making goals, I love setting goals, I love achieving goals, I like setting to-do lists for myself, and I love to learn how to do new things. So I'm always looking to be better, I'm always looking to expand, and I'm always looking to make a difference in the world, whether it be my business, my YouTube channel now, or just generally as a person. Anyways guys, that's the tips that I have for this video. There's a couple of things that you need to research or know before you start a business. Starting a business without this information can actually be a detriment, so it's really important you do not rush it and you make sure that you look into everything before you start, because it could cause you problems later down the track. And especially money problems within business can be very stressful. So thank you so much for coming back to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.